Hello, everyone. Happy Wellness Wednesday. We're starting off a little bit later today. I apologize. I was just running from a meeting where I was talking with some other amazing health and wellness professionals about how we can make healthy nutrition education easier and more accessible to people. So I'm very excited to be working with other professionals to make health and wellness information a lot more accessible for everyone. So thank you so much for joining us today. This is our Wellness Wednesday live Q&A. My name is Adelaide, and I am a certified nutrition and wellness consultant here with Rose Natural Wellness, and we specialize on education and personalized guidance for women's health and wellness. So I'm very excited to be here today. And as we go throughout this live Q&A, feel free to add any of your questions or comments right into the chat box so that we can make this more of a fun community setting and really answer any main questions that you may have as we go throughout. So definitely put that in there. And if you like tuning into our live Q&A sessions, we do a new Q&A topic every week on Wellness Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So please feel free to subscribe and click that little bell icon to make sure that you get notified every single time we go live so that you can join us and we can continue to learn about healthy nutrition and answer all the questions that you may have. Awesome. So as we get started today, I am excited because we are going to be talking about the top 10 nutrient-dense foods specifically to support women's health and well-being. So a few weeks ago, back on July 30th, we covered the topic of what makes foods nutrient dense. So we really went deep into the fundamentals of nutrient dense foods, what that means, and some of the different types of foods that we would consider nutrient dense. So if you haven't watched that video, definitely be sure to check that out. It's in the live section on our YouTube channel. And if you like some of that information, you found any of it useful or interesting, definitely give it a like. But today, we are really going to expand on that topic of nutrient-dense foods, and we're going to cover specifically the top 10 nutrient-dense foods that every woman should eat to boost energy, support your hormones, and promote longevity so that you can live a happy and healthy life for as long as possible. So also stick around till the end of today's live Q&A because we are going to be giving some really essential meal tips that you can start using today. So these are going to be practical tips to incorporate these top 10 nutrient-dense foods into your daily or weekly routine. So let's go ahead and just dive in. So again, we're just going to really briefly cover what makes foods nutrient dense and what that term nutrient dense means. So nutrient density refers to the ratio of essential nutrients to calories in a particular food. So foods that are considered to be nutrient dense are going to be foods that have more vitamins, more minerals, and other beneficial compounds per calorie. So on the flip side, foods that are not nutrient dense are going to be very, very high in calories and have very, very low nutritional benefits. So not a whole lot of vitamins, minerals, or those other beneficial compounds. So why does this matter? Why do we care if foods are nutrient dense or not? Well, the nutrients that come from foods specifically give our bodies instructions on how to heal our body from different wounds, how to support and balance our hormones naturally, how to detoxify the body, how to build muscle. All of these different things that are essential processes in the body are indicated by the information that healthy foods provide so that the body has the tools it needs to perform those processes. That's why it's so important. And especially when it comes to women's health, we need to make sure that we're getting enough nutrient density and variety in the foods that we're eating to really support those energy levels, make sure that hormones are being created and are in healthy balance to help with our cognitive health. So, being able to have an elevated positive mood, being able to remember specific important information, being able to think clearly and not having brain fog. These are all essential pieces that are going to support long term wellness. And these are achievable directly through healthy foods that we put into our bodies on a daily basis. So, I did create a longer, complete article that goes over these top 10 nutrient dense foods, and it talks a lot more in detail about why they are so helpful, why they're so important, and some different meal tips that you can utilize to go in conjunction with each one. So, if you are looking for some more information on these specific foods, please check out that video, or excuse me, that article on our website. So we do have the link in the description where you can just click that link and read the full article. But when it comes to the foods that we are identifying as our top 10 for nutrient dense, I would love to start off with number one, which is salmon. Particularly wild caught salmon is going to be the absolute best. Salmon is a healthy fat, it's an unsaturated fat, which provides us with a lot of omega 3 fatty acids. And if you are unfamiliar with omega 3s, omega 3 fatty acids are essential for our brain health to help support our cognition, and it helps with moderating inflammation. So we have what's called omega 6s and what are omega 3s. So omega 6s are pro inflammatory, they increase the amount of inflammation in your body if we have too much. They are still essential, but we need to keep them within a steady ratio. Omega 3s, on the other hand, are going to be anti inflammatory. So they help bring inflammation down. We need to have a nice balanced ratio so that we can support our health. And the more omega 3s, the better, because they are not as abundant as omega 6s. Omega 6s typically come a lot from meat products, processed foods, and a lot of other things. So we get a lot of them in our diet in other ways already. So we really want to prioritize those omega 3s to bump that up so we're not teeter-tottering with way too many omega 6s. We want to be a lot more in range. Salmon also has some essential vitamin D that comes naturally as a part of that food. And of course, healthy, complete protein, which is essential for women's health. So, overall benefits of our salmon, particularly our wild caught salmon varieties, are going to be reducing inflammation, supporting our cognition, and supporting healthy hormone production. So, a nice meal tip that I have for you related to salmon is you can bake salmon in the oven with lemon and herbs, or you could also add it to salads. It's pretty versatile, very great option for a healthy meal or snack. All right, number two is spinach. Spinach is one of the essential superfoods that I love to recommend to people. So, if you are a repeat viewer of our channel or you are a client that we work with, you may have heard me talk a lot about spinach. And that's for good reason because spinach is very high in iron, folate, and magnesium. So it provides us with a ton of great benefits. And it is truly one of the most nutrient dense foods in existence because it's very, very low calorie, but it provides a ton of nutritional benefit. So, some of the benefits that we do specifically get from spinach are going to be getting better energy and a better energy boost from spinach by even though it doesn't have a whole lot of calories that it contributes, the specific nutrients that it contributes really at a cellular level help to boost our natural energy levels. It also is essential for reproductive health. Anybody that is pregnant or considering becoming pregnant, it should really look at incorporating spinach into your routine because it is very high in natural folate, which is essential for preventing birth defects and supporting a healthy pregnancy. So I really recommend adding this to your routine. With the magnesium that's a part of the spinach, it can also help with some stress reduction. So really powerful food here. Now, for our meal tip, I recommend sauteing these spinach leaves, maybe with other vegetables. You can use a little bit of olive oil and putting that into a pan. The wilted greens are such a great addition for a healthy breakfast, a side dish, a meal. It really provides a huge benefit. And what's great is you can eat a larger quantity of spinach without feeling like you're eating so much spinach. Because when you cook it on the pan, it kind of starts to wilt down and it gets smaller in the specific kind of quantity as far as how it looks. So you could take a whole handful of spinach, pop it into a pan, and it's a lot easier to eat than actually a whole raw handful of spinach. You can also blend this into smoothies. And I think that's a great option because it doesn't really contribute much to the taste, but the nutritional benefit is huge. And I do recommend that if you are eating spinach, try to pair it with some sort of vitamin C, like an orange, because that is going to help with absorbing the iron that's a part of the spinach. It will really improve the absorbability so your body can better utilize that. All right, so the next one is going to be blueberries. I love blueberries because they provide some essential antioxidants, a great amount of vitamin C, and healthy dietary fiber. So they really help to benefit brain health. It's been well documented in research recently that blueberries do have a huge role in contributing to our neurological health. They also help with protecting our cells. They have what's called anthocyanins. These are a type of phytonutrient that helps protect our cells from damage. And it's really a key part of these blueberries that provides us with a huge amount of benefit for a very little caloric cost. They're also a very low calorie sweetener. You can use them to sweeten different things or just provide that sweetness in terms of satisfying a sort of craving. These are a really great option to include in. Definitely, smoothies are a great way to add this into a meal or snack. You can also do yogurt bowls, like Greek yogurt with some healthy granola, maybe some flax seeds and chia seeds, and add those blueberries in. You can also add blueberries on top of oatmeal and really get some good balance in those meals or snacks. Speaking of Greek yogurt, that is number 4. Greek yogurt provides us with some essential probiotics, which are really going to help support healthy gut health and the overall gut microbiome. They also provide, of course, a ton of calcium, which is going to support our bones, and healthy protein, which helps with that feeling of satiety so that you can stay fuller longer, not be so hungry, maybe not have as many cravings. One of the best ways to do this is to have a little bowl of Greek yogurt and kind of make yourself a Greek yogurt parfait. Maybe add some chia seeds or flax seeds in and top with your blueberries for a healthy snack. All right, the next one is going to be lentils. Lentils are a plant protein that provides us with a lot of good benefits. They are very high in folate, so super great for reproductive health. They're also pretty high in iron, which is awesome for our women's health, whether you are somebody who is still experiencing the menstrual cycle, maybe you're in menopause, maybe you're preconception, getting ready to have a baby. It doesn't really matter what stage of life you're in. Healthy iron and protein is always going to be a top priority. So lentils really provide us with some great benefits in that regard. Lentils can really help with healthy blood sugar support and healthy digestion. So we're sustaining those energy levels. We're not getting those crazy spikes in blood sugar. We're able to better digest, especially with the dietary fiber that lentils provide. And being a pretty good plant-based protein, it also helps with that feeling of fullness, so we're not hungry all day long. Lentils are great to add into soups. You can add them on top of salads. You can even add them to pasta or get a lentil based pasta variety. There's a lot of new brands out there that are giving plant-based, protein dense pasta varieties. So instead of your traditional wheat pasta or processed pasta, you can find things that are pastas made from lentils or chickpeas, which is a really great option. I personally do that a lot because I love pasta, but I don't always love all of the empty calories that it tends to provide. So I typically opt for a lentil based or a chickpea based pasta. And I really like the Banza brand, Banza. They are a great brand where each serving is, I believe, about 20 grams of protein that come from this pasta alone. So it's a really phenomenal thing to have as a part of our routine. Next one is going to be sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes because they provide just such a broad spectrum of amazing health benefits. But some of my favorites are the fact that they are very high in beta carotene. Beta carotene is a phytonutrient that is specifically helpful for promoting skin and eye health. They also have a lot of potassium and fiber. So these are going to be helpful for supporting our cardiovascular health, keeping your heart really healthy. And then the fiber, of course, is going to be great for promoting healthy digestion. So sweet potatoes are really versatile because you can make them more savory, but you can also use sweet potatoes for more of a sweetness. And that's the great thing about that is you can really satisfy either sweet or savory with sweet potatoes, and you get a huge nutritional benefit. So one way to do this is you could roast a sweet potato with cinnamon and olive oil for more of a sweeter type of treat. What I like to do very frequently is I will meal prep chicken thighs and do some sort of sauce and herbs on my chicken thighs. And as a side dish, I cut up a bunch of sweet potatoes into slices and I put those into a pan with olive oil, salt, and pepper. Maybe add a few other herbs as well just to boost that nutrition profile. And then I roast those in the oven, and it makes for a delicious side dish to go with the chicken thighs that's really easy to make and very, very versatile to have throughout the week. So I really recommend doing it that way, but you can also satisfy a sweet tooth very well with those sweet potatoes as well. Now, the next one is going to be avocados. Avocados are excellent for healthy fats. They provide a ton of unsaturated fats. They are also great source of potassium and vitamin E. So the great benefits that we get from avocados specifically are promoting hormone and heart health with our healthy fats. That's going to be essential and provide a ton of benefit. And then the vitamin E provides the benefit of supporting our skin health and particularly getting kind of glowing skin. So really great option to include. You can mash this on toast for a delicious avocado toast. If you do it that way, I would also add maybe a fried egg, maybe some salmon, or anything else that you really want to add to that just to bump up that nutrition profile, maybe get some extra protein. You can also blend frozen avocado into smoothies, and it's really good that way, or you can add it on top of salads. Another way to do that too is if you enjoy tacos, you can add avocado slices on top of your tacos or your burrito bowls. That's something that I enjoy doing as well. So tons of versatile options when it comes to an avocado. All right, number 8 is going to be one of my favorites, quinoa. Quinoa is actually one of the very few complete proteins that we have from plant-based proteins. So a complete protein means that it provides our bodies with all of the essential amino acids in sufficient amounts to support our health. So Many plants provide some amount of protein, but most of the time it is incomplete protein, which means that we need other sources of protein to fill that nutritional need. Whereas quinoa is different because it actually provides all of the essential amino acids and makes it a complete protein. So it's a great option. And you can also pair it with other proteins to even bump up that amount of protein in your meal. But it also provides a ton of magnesium and good dietary fiber as it is a healthy whole grain. So some of the benefits, of course, a complete protein, all of the essential amino acids, so that's awesome, but it also helps to support our bone health and our gut health. Some of the best ways that I like to use quinoa are using it specifically as a base for grain bowls. So I will typically do like a tricolor quinoa as the base. I may add some greens, either raw or wilted greens on top of that. I like to use tomatoes, feta cheese, grilled chicken, bell peppers, pepperoncinis, things like that. Typically, I do this in kind of a Mediterranean style, but you could certainly do this in more of a Hispanic or Southwest type of style, or really any way that you want to put this together. Quinoa has a very mild taste, so it's really versatile and will take on the taste of any herbs or spices that you choose to use when you're putting it together. So I really recommend that as a great option for some delicious and healthy grain bowls that are completely customizable and versatile. Now, the next one is going to be walnuts. Walnuts are a great nut to incorporate into your routine because they also provide those healthy omega-3 fatty acids, which when we talked about salmon, you will remember it really helps to support our brain health, reduce inflammation, as well as support cardiovascular health. It also has a ton of antioxidants and the essential mineral manganese, which help with specifically forming bone. So even if you are a little bit older, or if you're a younger person, it doesn't really matter. We all need essential manganese as a part of our routine. And even if your bones are relatively fully formed, our cells are always replicating and creating new cells. So it is absolutely essential, no matter what stage of life that you are, that we get essential nutrients in to help with supporting our bones, because that's going to keep our structure really strong as we age. And perhaps even more important if you are a little bit older, just because we want to make sure that we maintain that bone density so that we are reducing the risk for falls, injuries, and things like that, fractures as well. Now, some great tips that I have for meals. You can have this as a snack on its own, maybe paired with like some dried cranberries or raisins. That is a definitely great way to do that. But I also really like to have walnuts as a part of my salads, to just sprinkling those over a salad or even a bowl of oatmeal or your Greek yogurt parfait. This is a great way to get the benefits of walnuts and enjoy a healthy meal or snack. Now, finally, number 10 is eggs. I know throughout time we have seen kind of some contradictory information that has come up about if eggs are healthy or not healthy, but I'm here to tell you eggs are one of our top essential nutrient dense foods, and that's for a good reason. Eggs provide us with essential choline, protein, and vitamin B12. These are absolutely essential for all women of all ages and all stages of life. We all need these benefits. So, particularly, eggs are going to really help us in terms of supporting our brains and our livers. They're also going to help us with natural energy production, particularly with that B12. And they're very pregnancy friendly. So, what some people don't realize is when you become pregnant, your body, of course, has different nutritional needs. We need a lot more nutrients because now you're eating for two. So you really need to make sure you're getting enough. Choline is one of those essential minerals that we need more of during the pregnancy stage. And it's very essential to get enough in order to support a healthy pregnancy. So eggs are going to be a phenomenal source of choline that's really going to support you during pregnancy. So I would really recommend incorporating eggs into your routine. Plus, each egg has about 6 grams of complete protein, making it a great protein option. So I would definitely recommend adding that somewhere into your routine. And eggs are very, very versatile. You can hard boil them and eat them as is for snacks. You could pair that with an avocado and have your hard boiled egg plus your avocado, maybe some salt and pepper for a delicious snack. You could poach them and put them in your veggie bowls or your grain bowls with your quinoa. You can scramble them and have them with a delicious breakfast. I like to do a fried egg on a salmon and avocado toast. That's one of my favorites. You can even hard boil your eggs and sprinkle them on top of salads to give that an extra protein boost. So, tons of different options, and there are just so many different ways that you can utilize each of these essential nutrient dense foods in different ways to provide some delicious and healthy variety to your routine. They're all very customizable, so just create meals and snacks that sound good to you and use herbs and spices to really amp up the flavor in a way that really you appreciate and enjoy for your meals. So, hopefully, you found some interesting or helpful information as we went through all of these different foods. But just to kind of wrap up and recap some of our main takeaways that we really want to learn today, nutrient dense foods are vital because they provide energy, hormone support, and support a healthy, long life. So, very, very, very good to incorporate all or some of these into your routine. And of these foods, which one is your favorite? Or which one do you really already eat a lot of regularly? I would love to know which ones you like the best. So if you feel so inclined, please put that in the chat. Which one is your favorite? All right. And finally, I did mention at the beginning, we wrote an entire article that goes even deeper into this topic of the top 10 nutrient dense foods. So if you would like to read that article and get some more information, please go to rosenaturalwellness.com/10 nutrient dense foods for women's health. I don't expect you to memorize all of that, so we did link that in the description. And if you would like to read that article, you can click that link in the description box. And if you are ready for personalized guidance to help support your nutrition and wellness goals, please feel free to book a discovery call with us. We work with women across the United States and service the majority of the 50 states. So if you would like to discuss your needs and see if we're a good fit to work together, please consider scheduling a free discovery call with us so we can get to know you and help support your needs. That will be at rosenaturalwellness.com/discovery-call. Or, of course, you can always click that link in the description box or on our bio of our YouTube page. So thank you all for logging in and chatting with us today. Hopefully you found some great information here, and we look forward to seeing you again on next week's Wellness Wednesday Q&A. Have a healthy and happy day.